Hey everyone, it's August 15, 2025. Hope all doing a great day today, and welcome back to the Humble Gent YouTube channel. Today I got a new IWC watch added to my collection, and it's a watch that came in 5 days ago, so I have been wearing it for the last 5 days and I am in the honeymoon phase. I picked up the new IWC Mark XX. So this IWC Mark XX is my second IWC watch I ever purchased. The first one I bought was the IWC Spitfire. I did a video on that a couple months ago, and if you did watch that review, that watch blew me away. The Spitfire is a vintage inspired Flieger watch by IWC, 39 millimeters, very thin case, beautiful watch overall. I did sell the Spitfire to get this new Mark XX. I wanted to buy the newest Mark series watch by IWC, and IWC was one of those brands I slept on for years. I thought they were overpriced field or Flieger style watches, like a more expensive Hamilton, but I was wrong. The build quality, the finishing, the movements, and the history of IWC is honestly phenomenal. And wearing this Mark XX the last several days really made me appreciate the brand even more. So hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing and review of this IWC Mark XX. Before we get started, we'll do a quick wrist check. So today I'm wearing one of the first mechanical watches I ever purchased. This is my Seiko SKX 007. This is a beautiful watch which I still wear to this day. I bought this maybe 13 years ago, and look how beautiful the SKX is. I have it on this rubber strap, and honestly, if it wasn't for this watch, I wouldn't be where I am in my collection journey today. So this is not a genuine unboxing here. I've been wearing this for the last couple days, but I did want to show you the box here. Typical IWC box. You get the IWC carrying case, and below here you have all your papers, you have your warranty. What's cool about IWC, you have their ease exchange. You easily put on their straps and buckles without using tools. So this watch actually came with the black rubber strap with the IWC buckle. I got the brown rubber strap, which also looks great. And I also got the brown rubber strap, which also is phenomenal. And I got two IWC buckles that came with this. You can easily take these buckles off. All you do is pull this part off right here, and with the buckle itself, you pull this pin out in the middle, and that's it. The buckle comes right out, and you can put this between the three straps I have. It did come with two buckles, which is great. And what's cool is IWC has their own quick release, their ease exchange. You can put on and take off straps without using any tools. And here's the IWC carrying case you get with all IWCs. And look how beautiful this watch here. I got the black dial version, and I do have an aftermarket bracelet on there, which I do want to show you guys, which definitely transformed this watch. And here's the beautiful IWC Mark XX black dial, and right away you can see that blue anti-reflective coating. The AR coating on this watch is so good. The dial is so clear. It is honestly beautiful. All the finishing on the case, the dial, the bezel, everything is such high quality. I love the Flieger style design of this watch. With the bigger crown, so it's easy to manipulate. And with this watch, you get 120 hours or 5-day power reserve. And don't get me wrong, I do love the straps that came with my Mark XX. I love the rubber straps I got as well as the leather straps. And they look great. I'll put a few photos of how those look right here. But something that just came in yesterday was this bracelet right here. This is a Forstner aftermarket bracelet that is made for the IWC Mark XX. As you can see, the end links fit perfect on there. The fitment is absolutely perfect. Take a look at that. And it's a presidential style bracelet that has a nice taper to it, and it really transformed this watch for me. You can get an OEM bracelet for this watch, and a lot of people do love it, which I was debating on getting, but I knew I wasn't a big fan of that style of bracelet. And on Instagram I saw one account that had this bracelet on this watch, so I knew when I did purchase this Mark XX I was going to buy this presidential style bracelet by Forstner. Shout out to Forstner because they made a very high quality bracelet, And unlike Uncle Seiko, this is actually a great quality bracelet here. You also have a quick adjust that's similar to Rolex's quick adjust as well, and you'll always get that perfect fit on wrist. Look how beautiful this watch is here. Absolutely stunning black dial. Like I said, the crystal, the finishing, the bezel, everything is just extremely good quality on this watch. The one thing I wish this watch had was an exhibition case back, which IWC usually does not do, but the movement inside of this watch is honestly insane. So in a moment here, I'll show you guys how this looks on my 7-inch wrist. But before we get through the specs and everything else, I want to go over the caliber of this movement and how great it really is. So the caliber for this Mark XX is an in-house IWC caliber 32111, which is made by Val Fleurier. This movement features a double pole winding system and a silicone escapement. So the movement is extremely robust, has great anti-magnetism and shock resistance, and on top of that has 120 hours of power reserve. And the key specs of this movement beats at 28.8 to get that smooth seconds hand. Like I said, power reserve 120 hours or 5 days, which is the most out of any watch I've ever owned. This movement has 164 components and 64 jewels. And like I stated before, it is sad you can't see the actual movement because the movement actually does look great. IWC is not known for showing their movements even though they have great finishing on it. I'll put a picture of what the movement looks like right here. It does have some Côte de Genève finishing on there with a lot of perlage decoration all over the movement. It's definitely a well-made movement. They definitely put some effort into making it look good, but it's sad you don't get an exhibition case back with the Mark series watches. So before we go into the case design and history of this watch, I want to show you guys how this looks on my 7-inch wrist. Alright, taking off my SKX 007 and putting on my IWC Mark XX. This bracelet really transformed this watch. I do like the OEM bracelet quality, but I'm not a big fan of the design of it. But I love the presidential style bracelet of this watch. In my opinion, it really elevated this watch, and the quality of the bracelet is phenomenal. And it has that quick adjust to get that perfect fit. And look how beautiful this watch is. And honestly, like I said, this could be used for so many different occasions. This is such a versatile piece in anyone's collection. IWC has such good quality finishing, and this is a very thin watch. You get 120 hours of power reserve. It beats at 28.8. You get that smooth seconds hand. You have that beautiful anti-reflective coating, and looking at this watch, and no matter what lighting you're in, it looks like you can touch the dial. That's how great the anti-reflective coating of this watch is. And it being a Flieger watch, it's obviously really versatile. The only downside is the lume, which is not great on this watch, which is one thing I wish IWC would do better. That was also an issue on my IWC Spitfire. The lume was not great, and it's something I think IWC does have to improve. I'm honestly blown away with the Mark XX right now. IWC is such a phenomenal brand, and a lot of people do compare this to the Rolex Explorer 1, which is my favorite watch in my collection. A lot of people do compare these because they're both very versatile watches. They both have very simple black dials, very legible. I can see how people would compare these. The sizing is fairly similar, but owning both of these, wearing these back to back, they don't wear the same. This is my 214270 Rolex Explorer 1. This is the 39mm Explorer that's been discontinued, and it's one of my favorite watches in my collection. And the one thing with Rolex watches, with almost all their watches, the lack of anti-reflective coating is honestly not great. Everything else of the watch, the build quality, the finishing, the tolerances all around, nothing beats Rolex. But when you look at the IWC Mark XX next to the Rolex Explorer 1, the dial on the IWC Mark XX is a lot more legible. The anti-reflective coating on this watch is so good. When I wear these back to back, the IWC dial and crystal blow the Rolex away. I love the Explorer 1. It's going to be in my collection forever. It is my favorite Rolex watch I ever owned. But right now I'm definitely favoring the IWC Mark XX as a daily piece. And I'm planning to have both of these in my collection for a very, very long time. And since I have both these watches out now, I'll show you guys how the Rolex Explorer 1 looks on my 7-inch wrist. And this 39mm case diameter with the oyster bracelet, it's honestly the perfect fitting watch on my wrist. Extremely versatile, great for any occasion. You can put any leather or rubber strap on this watch, it'll look great. Both this and the IWC Mark XX are both strap monsters, with the black dial having very simple but elegant dials. But my Rolex Explorer 1 is a stunning watch. So we'll put on the Mark XX right after this, and here we go. The IWC Mark XX definitely wears bigger because it is a bigger watch. This is 40 millimeters compared to the 39 millimeters, but the Rolex also has a smaller lug to lug, I believe at 47 millimeters, I believe, and the lug to lug for this is 49 millimeters, so it does wear a bit bigger. It does have more wrist presence, which I do like because as a Flieger watch, as a pilot's watch, I like that it has more presence and it wears a little bit bigger on my wrist. And here's a quick wrist roll with the Forstner presidential style bracelet. It really elevates this watch, and it made me want to wear this watch that much more. And I do swap it with the rubber and leather straps every so often, but I feel like I'm going to have it on this bracelet majority of the time. So the IWC Mark XX is a direct descendant of the iconic IWC Mark XI, originally developed in 1948 for RAF pilots, and it continued its lineage with the Mark XII, Mark 15, 16, and 18, and it skips to number 20. And in some countries, some of these numbers were unlucky, and that's why IWC skipped them. Now we'll go over the specs of the IWC Mark XX. Like I stated before, it's a 40 millimeter case diameter, and with only a 10.8 millimeter thickness. Extremely thin watch. Looks phenomenal on wrist. It really fits really flat on wrist, which gives a phenomenal appearance. Great for everyday wear. Can fit under a cuff, no problem. Can be worn for dress occasions, casual. You can wear it with jeans and a t-shirt and also a suit. This Mark XX is definitely slimmer than its predecessors, but like I stated before, it does have a longer lug to lug of 49 millimeters, but that is common for IWC watches. And as you can see, the lugs do turn down with that 49 millimeter lug to lug, so it does fit great on a huge variety of wrist sizes. So like I stated before, the crystal on this watch is phenomenal. The anti-reflective coating is insane. It feels like you can touch the dial on any angle. This IWC Mark XX also has 100 meters of water resistance. It has a beautiful big screw down crown here. I love the iconic look of a Flieger's watch with a big crown, easily to manipulate, and I love how it looks. And like I said, the anti-magnetism of this watch is phenomenal. It's a soft iron inner case that protects the movement from anti-magnetic fields up to 24,000 AM. Overall, IWC definitely made some great upgrades to this watch compared to the previous Mark series, especially the most recent Mark XVIII. And we'll go over those upgrades in just a moment here. And it looks great. Love how it looks on wrist here. And because of that 10.8 millimeter thickness, it wears so close to the wrist. It's one of those watches that's very comfortable on wrist, that could be worn as your daily driver, and even your only watch if you just wanted one watch in your collection. So some noteworthy upgrades that you got with the Mark XX compared to the Mark XVIII and the Spitfire. You got 100 meters of water resistance compared to the prior 60 meters. And overall, you got a thinner, more compact design compared to the previous Mark XVIII. And a huge upgrade was the movement in this watch. You got the in-house caliber offering 5 days of power reserve. And again, you get the anti-magnetism shock resistance, which makes the movement really robust. You also get the enhanced dial balance and readability overall. These incremental changes make the Mark XX feel like a substantial evolution to the Mark XVIII. There was a lot of upgrades that went from the Mark XVIII to this watch right here. If you have a Mark XVIII and you're looking to possibly upgrade to the Mark XX, I say definitely do it. They may have similar dial designs, but all the upgrades with 100 meters of water resistance, the slimmer, more compact design, this insane in-house movement, the enhanced dial balance readability, all these upgrades make this watch a better overall watch than the Mark XVIII. IWC is absolutely killing it right now with all these new releases they've been having, their chronograph watches, the relationship with F1, and on top of that, this beautiful Mark XX that came out almost 2 years ago now. It's a brand that's definitely not as popular as like Omega, Tudor, Rolex, but with all the new watches, all the upgrades they've been implementing the last couple of years, they're definitely getting more notoriety as of late, and I'm happy I personally finally got into this brand. I feel like the IWC Spitfire was that perfect watch to get me into the IWC brand. It's a beautiful vintage-inspired watch. It did have that faux patina, but it was perfect for the Spitfire. With 39mm case diameter, great specs overall. It really got me looking more into the brand, and I made the decision to trade that in and get this IWC Mark XX, which I'm planning to have this in my collection for a very, very long time to come. So please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on the IWC Mark XX, and let me know what your thoughts are on IWC brand as a whole. I know they're not as popular as some of these other big brands, but I feel like with all the things they've been doing, they need more notoriety, which they have been getting, especially with their ties to F1 and these different celebrities out there. They're definitely getting more attention, and I couldn't be any happier for the brand. And remember, I do respond back to every single comment I get, and remember to stay humble.